Time has softened these images, but not their stories. Fame fades, whispers remain. Every frame hides something forgotten. This is Velvet Screen Secrets. Each day I bring you a new story about Hollywood's golden age and the stars who defined it. Widmark wasn't just another old-school Hollywood face. He was a storm that shaped the golden age itself. His performances didn't just entertain, they cut deep, blending fear, tension, and truth straight into the silver screen. But behind the fame and respect, Widmark carried a secret grudge he could never shake. Before his passing, he quietly dropped a bombshell, a list of people he couldn't stand. These weren't just any names. We're talking about the heavyweights of Hollywood, the untouchable legends that the world worshipped for decades. But to Widmark, they weren't heroes. They were symbols of everything twisted, hiding beneath the Golden Age's polished surface. Why did he decide to expose them right before his final curtain call? Because it wasn't about hate, it was a warning. Number 1 on that list, John Wayne, the man who made Widmark's blood boil every time they crossed paths. Wayne wasn't just a superstar, he was a walking symbol of unchecked power in Hollywood, the kind that Widmark despised. Their clash exploded during the making of The Alamo in 1960, a project Wayne didn't just star in, but ruled over. He was the producer, the boss, the man no one dared to question. When Widmark's name came up for the role of Jim Bowie, everyone thought it was a done deal until Wayne shut it down right there on set, in front of the whole crew. The humiliation burned so deep that Widmark never forgot it. That moment became a scar, one that revealed just how ruthless old Hollywood power games could get. Without blinking, John Wayne hit Widmark with a line that sliced deeper than it sounded. "You're not big enough to play Jim Bowie." That one sentence said it all. For Widmark, it wasn't just an insult, it was a warning shot. In that instant, everything he hated about Hollywood's power games snapped into focus. Wayne wasn't judging skill, he was flexing control. The Alamo wasn't a movie set, it was Wayne's personal kingdom, and that remark was his way of reminding Widmark exactly where he stood. Widmark didn't lash out. Instead, he fired back 2 calm but deadly words. "I will be." That quiet defiance hit harder than any argument. And when The Alamo finally hit theaters, something wild happened. Critics sided with Widmark. They called his version of Jim Bowie more human, more emotional, and more believable than Wayne's larger-than-life performance. Wayne never admitted it, not even once, but the silence spoke volumes. From that day on, their relationship froze solid. No warmth, no friendship, no collaboration. Widmark's grudge wasn't about ego, it ran deeper. He believed Wayne represented everything wrong with the system, power being used to silence instead of support. To Widmark, real authority was supposed to protect art, not choke it out. After The Alamo, he made sure to keep his distance. No projects, no praise, no fake smiles. Wayne became the living proof that in old Hollywood, talent didn't always win. Power did. Number 2 on Widmark's list, Elia Kazan, the betrayal Widmark could never forgive. Their friendship didn't crumble slowly, it shattered in a single devastating moment, the moment Kazan chose to speak. That decision changed everything, and for Widmark, it marked the ultimate act of disloyalty in an industry already drowning in it. In the early 1950s, Hollywood was drowning in paranoia. Careers vanished overnight. Scripts went up in smoke, and friendships turned into dangerous secrets. Everyone in the business knew the unspoken rule: keep your head down, protect each other, and survive together. But Elia Kazan shattered that fragile code when he took the stand before the House Un-American Activities Committee and named his fellow artists as communists. To Widmark, that wasn't just betrayal, it was treason against the entire brotherhood of film. That moment wiped out everything they'd built.
Kazan wasn't just another director to Widmark. He was a trusted creative partner, a man he thought got it. Widmark believed there was an unbreakable pact between true artists. No matter what storms raged outside the studio, loyalty inside was sacred. But when Kazan opened his mouth in front of that committee, Widmark felt that pact crumble to dust. The fallout was instant and brutal. Widmark didn't rant on talk shows or issue fiery statements. He went silent, which was even colder. He erased Kazan completely, cutting him out like he never existed. Friends would bring up Kazan's name, and Widmark would just go quiet, his face turning to stone. Others said he'd simply change the subject, like the name itself was poison. One close associate later remembered him saying flat out, "I don't work with men who sell out other men." That single sentence said everything. For Widmark, it wasn't about politics, it was about principle, and once that trust was broken, there was no going back. The message was loud and clear. Elia Kazan no longer deserved even a whisper of recognition. Behind closed doors, Widmark summed up his disgust in a line that quietly made its way across Hollywood. "There are things worse than losing work. Losing your spine is one of them." That hit hard. Everyone knew exactly what he meant. Widmark believed Kazan hadn't just saved his own career, he'd made Betrayal look like survival. In Widmark's eyes, Kazan's testimony didn't just ruin lives, it rewired Hollywood's moral compass. It taught the industry that fear could excuse anything, even destroying your own friends. That belief only hardened over time, especially when Kazan later defended his actions in public, saying he had done what he had to do. To Widmark, that defense said it all. He told a close friend, "Once you justify it, you'll do it again." That one line revealed exactly how deep the wound went. Years later, when Kazan received his controversial honorary Oscar in 1999, the tension was electric. Half the room stood and clapped, the other half sat in icy silence. Even decades later, Widmark's stance was crystal clear. Time didn't heal this one bit. To him, the years only proved how much damage Kazan's choice had done. Kazan became more than a memory. He became a warning, a living reminder that Hollywood's golden age didn't decay because of outside enemies, but because some insiders chose themselves over everyone else. And for Widmark, that was an unforgivable sin.
Number 3 on Widmark's list, Frank Sinatra. The disrespect he refused to excuse. So why did Widmark lose all respect for Old Blue Eyes? It wasn't jealousy, it was about behavior. Their feud came to life on the set of The Detective in 1968, and it turned into one of Hollywood's most talked about behind-the-scenes clashes. When Frank Sinatra walked onto the set, he carried himself like a man who ruled the room. He showed up late, cut rehearsals short, and pushed to wrap scenes early. To Sinatra, that was just efficiency. To Widmark, it was pure disrespect. He saw it as cutting corners in a craft that demanded precision and heart. Crew members caught on fast. The contrast between the two men was impossible to miss. Widmark arrived early every day, script covered in notes, blocking memorized, laser-focused, ready to grind through take after take until the scene clicked. Meanwhile, Sinatra relied on his charm and star power, expecting everyone on set to adjust around him. And for a while, it worked, until it didn't. The breaking point came when Sinatra decided to rush through a key scene Widmark had spent hours preparing for. It wasn't a suggestion, it was an order. Widmark went along with it in a moment, calm on the outside, but furious inside. After that day, something changed completely. No confrontation, no shouting, just a cold, silent distance that everyone on set could feel. Later, Widmark summed it up in one line that spread quietly through Hollywood. "Charm is not commitment." That hit like a punch. To Widmark, Sinatra wasn't treating acting like an art. It was just another appointment in his packed celebrity schedule. And in Widmark's world, that kind of attitude was unforgivable. Sinatra never said a word about the tension, and honestly, he didn't have to. His fame protected him like armor. Studios bent the rules, scenes were rewritten, and everyone moved around his schedule. That kind of power was exactly what Widmark despised. He believed a movie set was supposed to be a team effort, not a royal court built around one man's ego. There was no apology, no handshake, no peace after filming ended. They simply went their separate ways. Cold, distant, done. Years later, when Widmark was asked about actors he admired, he spoke highly about dedication, preparation, and discipline, but never mentioned Sinatra once. That silence said everything. He didn't have to insult him outright, he just erased him. In a business fueled by attention, denying Sinatra respect was the ultimate blow. Number 4. Marlon Brando, the chaos Widmark called a lie. On paper, these two should have been allies, both intense, both serious about the craft, both respected for their raw power on screen. To outsiders, they looked like kindred spirits, but that illusion shattered the moment Widmark saw how Brando actually worked. By the height of Brando's fame, his methods were legendary and reckless. He refused to memorize lines, relying on cue cards hidden everywhere, on lamps, props, even taped to other actors. He'd toss out the script mid-scene, improvise without warning, and twist entire moments to fit his own rhythm. Hollywood called it genius, but Widmark wasn't buying it.
He listened to exhausted co-stars who left Brando-led productions drained and frustrated. Directors quietly admitted they spent more time managing Brando's moods than actually directing the movie. To Widmark, that wasn't brilliance, it was chaos disguised as art. And for a man who believed in precision and respect for the craft, that kind of unpredictability was nothing short of betrayal. What others celebrated as daring, Widmark saw as plain disruption. To him, Brando's chaos wasn't depth, it was distraction dressed up as genius. At a private Hollywood gathering, someone started praising Brando like he was untouchable. Widmark stayed quiet for a moment, then drew the line with a single, razor-sharp sentence. "Some actors need chaos to create. I prefer focus." The room went silent. Everyone understood exactly what he meant. It was a judgment, clear and final. Widmark believed acting was a craft built on discipline, not ego. To him, it was a promise made to the story, to the director, and to every person sharing that frame. Brando's unpredictable methods, in Widmark's view, dumped the chaos onto everyone else, forcing co-stars and crew to carry the weight so one man could look brilliant. Hollywood applauded it, and that only made Widmark's contempt dig in deeper. There was never a public feud, no headlines, no quotes, no outbursts. Widmark's rejection was colder than that. It was refusal. In every room where others gushed about Brando, Widmark went silent, disengaged, almost invisible. And as Brando's later years unraveled into excess and instability, Widmark quietly felt vindicated. In his mind, the chaos had finally caught up to the myth, and that was his proof. Number 5. Kirk Douglas, the ego Widmark refused to share the frame with. On paper, these two looked like twins of the same Hollywood breed, driven, fierce, and electric. Studios thought putting them together would spark magic, but they didn't realize something crucial. That kind of energy doesn't just light up a scene, it can burn everything around it. From the very first days of working in the same Hollywood circles, Widmark saw something about Kirk Douglas that rubbed him the wrong way. Douglas didn't wait for moments, he seized them. He'd push his lines louder than written, stretch emotional beats past their limit, and edge closer to the camera just to dominate the frame. Directors would try to rein him in, but Douglas had his trademark response ready. "If you want small, hire someone else. I don't do small." That line spread across the set like wildfire, and when it reached Widmark, he didn't forget it. Widmark never confronted Douglas directly. He didn't need to. After one especially lopsided scene, he turned to a nearby colleague and said just loud enough to carry, "There's only room for one storm in a scene." Everyone knew exactly what he meant. It wasn't about competition. It was a declaration that Widmark refused to fight for attention like that. As filming went on, the distance between them grew. Whenever Douglas started ramping up the energy, trying to turn a scene into his personal showcase, Widmark didn't take the bait. He stayed calm, deliberate, and unshakable. That quiet control created a chilling contrast. Douglas's intensity started looking less like power and more like desperation.
The fallout was quiet but final. Widmark began turning down projects the moment he heard Douglas's name attached, even if the roles were huge. No interviews, no gossip, no shouting matches. He just cut the cord completely. To Widmark, it wasn't worth the chaos. In his eyes, sharing a scene with Douglas was like stepping into a storm that never stopped spinning. Douglas wasn't reckless or lazy. He was something far more unsettling. He was the kind of actor who believed that overpowering everyone else proved his strength. And the wild part? Hollywood loved that myth. They called it charisma, they called it drive, but Widmark saw right through it. To him, that wasn't power. It was insecurity wearing confidence like a costume. From that point on, Widmark made a silent vow. He'd never stand beside a man who confused domination with talent again. So what do you think? Were these Hollywood legends truly monsters behind the camera, or just products of a brutal system that rewarded ego over empathy? Which name on Richard Widmark's secret list shocked you the most? And more importantly, do you think behavior like that would survive in today's industry? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and join the conversation. And if you crave more hidden truths and scandalous stories from Hollywood's shadowy past, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because Velvet Screen Secrets drops fresh Hollywood exposés every single day. You don't want to miss what's coming next.